Hello cherry lovers, today I've got another amazing recipe. This is my ultimate chocolate chip cookie. Now I know there's a lot of chocolate chip cookie recipes out there, but there's one ingredient that I use that I'm sure you may have never tried, but if you use this, it makes perfect chocolate chip cookies every single time. So stay tuned. Okay guys, the first thing we're gonna do is go through the ingredients. Now the ingredient that I was talking about that most of you have probably never used, and maybe some of you have, is we're going to be using a half a cup of Crisco. And as you can see, it's the thicker, it's not the oil. So you got a half a cup of Crisco in this container. Then we've got 1 stick of salted butter, and that is also equal to a half a cup. And in this container we have 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of vanilla flavoring, 2 large eggs, and in this container is our flour. We have 3 cups of flour here, but also mixed in here, I've already added it in there, it's 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, and then a half a teaspoon of baking powder, already mixed in the flour and mixed. And in this cup right here, we have 1.25 cups of chocolate chips. Now, in this recipe, you can use up to 2 cups of chocolate chips. If you like a lot of chocolate chips, then use up to 2 cups. But Larry and my daughter, some of my children, do not like a lot of chocolate chips. So I only use 1 cup and 1.25 cups. I'm sorry, 1 cup of chocolate chips plus 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. So if you want more, add up to the full 2 cups of chocolate chips. Now, I'm going to show you how to assemble this recipe. Okay guys, at this point I want you to preheat your oven to 375. And I have here my cookie sheet. It's covered in parchment paper. That's already ready for the cookies to go on. And the first ingredient that we're going to add into my KitchenAid bowl is the 1 stick of salted butter. And next we're going to add in the 1/2 cup of Crisco, along with the brown sugar, along with the granulated sugar. Okay, and then we're going to push this down some. We're going to blend this up until it's nice and creamy and smooth. Okay, we're going to let this mix up till it's nice and creamy. It's only going to take probably about a minute or less. And once that's nice and creamy, we're going to add in, which is right here, we're going to add in the egg, both the eggs. And I have made too many mistakes of actually dropping eggshells in there, so that's why I always put my eggs in a cup first to make sure there's no cracked eggshells. And we add the vanilla. And then we're going to let that stir until it's nice and creamy for probably about another minute or so. And once that is completely mixed and creamy, we're going to add in the dry ingredients, which that's perfectly fine right there. We're going to add into the dry ingredients, which is the flour. Now remember, this flour contains your baking soda and baking powder. I think what I'm going to do is scoop that in there. I usually have trouble with lots of flour going everywhere when I put the whole container in there, so I'm not. I'm going to add about 1 cup, 1.5 cups of flour. And then I'm going to let that mix. There's one thing about my KitchenAid, I don't know about everybody else's, but it's notorious for sending flour everywhere. Someone gave me an idea about a paper plate, putting it just above the mixing tool, but that didn't work so well. But this way, if I just keep it on a low speed, then it doesn't go everywhere. And we're going to add another 1.5 cups or so. And let that mix. Okay, so you see at this point that all we got to do is add in the rest of the flour, and then I'll show you where to go from there. Okay guys, we're going to add in this last cup flour. We're going to mix that up, and make sure you remember, as you're mixing your recipe, there's a buildup on the sides of your bowl. Make sure you stop periodically to clean the sides off so that they'll have an even mixture. And that's needs to come to nice and creamy, which is almost there. And we're going to stop. We're going to scrape the sides. And then let that mix for probably another 20 or 30 seconds. Okay. Every time I make these cookies and I use the Crisco, I have a perfect cookie. But sometimes I use my daughter's recipe or somebody else's. And I have those times when I can use the same recipe twice, but it never turns out the same. So when I use this 1/2 Crisco and 1/2 butter, every single time it turns out amazing. But I'm going to show you how to make these cookies nice and soft and yet with a little bit of crisp to them. Okay, the next step here, we're going to add in our chocolate chips. You don't need the blender for that. Just pour in your chocolate chips and just make sure you thoroughly mix them. I'm going to get all those chocolate chips mixed in there. And remember what I said, if you are one who likes a lot of chocolate chips, then by all means use that 2 full cups for this recipe. But if you like just a few, like my family, then just use that 1/4 cup. I'm using a 1/4 cup plus 1/4 cup. I'm using a 1/4 cup plus 1 cup. And you can use 1 cup, or you can use however many you like. But just mix those up in there. It only takes a minute or so. And that's good enough right there. Now I'm going to show you how I measure my cookies onto the cookie sheet. Okay guys, what I usually do is I use my tablespoon measurer. Now, with that said, you can actually use 2 heaping tablespoons or 3 tablespoons, depending on what size cookie you want your cookie to be. I'm actually using just a little heaped up tablespoon because I'm using my cookies for the Christmas holiday. And these, yes, they freeze very, very well. And they taste very fresh when you take them out of the freezer. But I use my tablespoon measurer, heap it up a little bit, and I get about 60 cookies out of the 1 tablespoon size. And if you use the 2 to 3, you'll get about 30, 36 cookies out of it, depending on how big you make them. So here we go. I'm going to use my scoop, just a little bit heaped up. Very simple. And if you get too much, it's okay. Just scoop it out. Sometimes I put a little too much in there. Okay. And we're going to put that on there. Got a little bit more. We're going to put that in there. And again, just heap your tablespoon up if you want the smaller size. And I'm going to show you how big they are, which is very nice size if you're giving them away for Christmas gifts. I make a lot of Christmas presents from the baking and the cooking that I do, candies and cookies at Christmas time. Oh, we forgot. I can't do that last one with chocolate chips. Now, I'm actually got here a little ball. It has absolutely no chocolate chips in it, but if Larry will look just to my left, that is my favorite all-time watcher. When I'm baking in the kitchen, that's Titan, my youngest daughter's dog, he watches us the entire time. So I made a special cookie for him. There are no chocolate chips in this cookie, and that one is especially for him. Now, as I said earlier, you preheat your oven to 375. Put your cookies in the oven. Now, this next part is very, very, very important. Depending on your oven, you're going to bake these cookies for 8 to 10 minutes. Do not let them overcook. Check your cookies, if once the edges start to just lightly brown around the edges, it's time to take them out. You're gonna go, oh, but they look raw, they don't look done. That's perfectly okay. That's the way they're gonna look. But I assure you, once they sit there for 5 or 10 minutes, you're gonna see a whole different cookie emerge. So 8 to 10 minutes, I usually let mine stay in the oven for 8 minutes. But again, watch your cookie. Let that be the determining factor of when you take it out. When the edges start to crisp, so after 7 minutes, check your cookie. After 7 minutes, make sure you check your cookie because some of your ovens may be browning the edges at that time. We're gonna pop it in the oven. I'm gonna set my timer for 7 minutes and then I will show you what they look like when we finish the recipe. Okay guys, these are the finished product of the chocolate chip cookies. As you can see, they're very lightly brown. And what I was talking about, when you see the edges start to just lightly brown around the edges, then you take them out. Now, they will, again, look like they're not completely done, but they are completely done. So take them out. If they have brown around the edges, take them out after 8 minutes. If they don't have any brown around the edges, let them cook do it a minute at a time, up to 10 minutes. But these were perfect at 8 minutes and I took them out. And now it's time to see how my furry friend Titan likes my cookies. Okay, let's find out how Titan likes my cookies. Oh, okay, this is your treat for you, buddy. Sit, you've already sitting. Look at him, he's already got his paw out there. Give me your other paw. Good boy. Okay, let's see what we got here. You be my taste tester today. Good boy. Is that delicious? He says, oh, Grandma, you're the best. Give me your paw. Good boy. Give me your other paw. Good boy. Let's try another piece. Take it nice. Oh, boy. Is that delicious? I think Titan says they're a winner. One more time, and you don't have to do anything for it. Good boy. Grandma loved you, buddy. Okay, guys. As you can see, even Titan says the cookies are a winner. So, right here, you see right up there? Like and subscribe, please. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. And always remember to leave a comment. I love your comments, and I always respond. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Is that delicious? Yeah. Say, Grandma, I love those cookies. They're a winner. Yeah.